Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm Alex Shuker, CTO at Duratec UK and Ireland, and joining me is your presenter for today, Łukasz Waligowski, one of our product specialists. The topic for today's presentation is high-performance access points. Wireless has always been a transformational technology, but recently it's been stretched further with our changing work patterns and general adjustments due to COVID, including viewing our outdoor spaces in a new light. A couple of years ago, I certainly didn't think I would be having a Teams meeting from my patio. We're also seeing increases in broadband speeds needing to be matched by the local network, and it's exciting to be able to launch our first Wi-Fi 6 products rather. Today, we've got another AX product to introduce to you, the Vigor AP 1060C, but also we wanted to take a look at our other high-performance APs and look at some use cases.
Thank you, Alex. And hello, everyone. My name is Łukasz Waligowski, and I'm one of the Duratec UK product specialists. And let's have a look at today's webinar agenda. So lockdown restrictions are again easing, so making wireless connectivity in offices, retail, hospitality, schools, and outdoor spaces is very important. This webinar will cover which Duratec access points are best fit for high-performance wireless networks. I will also introduce you to our freshly released Vigor AP 1060C. Then we will talk about the latest and existing key features available on Duratec access points. And I will show you what are the benefits and challenges for specific use cases, such as supporting fiber connection speeds, modern office requirements, how to support outdoor wireless networks, options for high-density environments, and how convenient it is to manage Duratec wireless solution. Note that you can ask a question during the presentation in the chat section, and there will be also a dedicated Q&A session at the end of this webinar. Now, let's talk about the high-performance wireless access points. Probably most of you are now aware of how important Wi-Fi is these days, hence you joined this webinar. This is a massively growing market, often critical for many organizations. They are interfacing with the public, such as retail or hospitality. It is used to enhance customer experience when they are visiting a location. It also brings more flexibility for working from home or office, accessing cloud applications, connecting smart devices, deploying Internet of Things such as sensors and other IoT devices. And Duratec has a range of wireless products that can address most of the requirements your customers may have. Here we can see the most popular high-performance Duratec access points. Note that all of the advanced APs support features such as dual band, multiple SSIDs, PoE, and remote management. So let's briefly talk about each of them for those who are new to Duratec product range. Vigor AP1000C is our tri-band wireless access point. It is a great solution as a dedicated backhaul for mesh networks or higher client density. It comes with 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. Up to 400 megabits per second theoretical throughput is available on 2.4 band and 866 megabits per second on each of the 2 5G radios this model supports. The Vigor AP918R and RPD models are our outdoor access point. They are IP67 compliant and are powered over Ethernet. The RPD model can also power an additional device through its second PoE out Ethernet port. This model also comes with a unidirectional high-gain antenna for point-to-point connections. The Vigo AP960C is our first Wi-Fi 6 release product. It can handle up to 1800 total theoretical wireless speeds and is designed to be ceiling or wall mounted. Now let me introduce our latest Wi-Fi 6 access point, Vigo 1060C. This is our yet the most powerful JTAG wireless access point, an ideal company for your fiber broadband router where speed matters. It has 4 spatial streams for both 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi 6 radios, giving 1200 megs link rate on 2.4 and 2400 megs on the 5G band for AX3600 performance. 8 SSIDs per radio band are also supported. The Vigo AP1060C is a ceiling access point and can easily blend in with any environment with its understated matte finish. In terms of performance, Vigo 1060C is our fastest AP with up to 2400 megabits per second 5G theoretical speed, whereas Vigo 960C can reach up to 1200 megabits per second. If we compare it with the tri-band AP1000C, each of its 5G radios can handle up to 866 megabits per second theoretical AC rate, which is still below the 2400 megabits our fastest AX access point can provide. Looking at the back of the access point, there is one 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port that can power the access point with regular power over Ethernet, ideal for use with any standard PoE switch or injector. Great for deployment in locations where power is not readily available. There is also a power supply socket if one needs to get an optional power supply for powering the AP in fully wireless environment. The Vigo 1060C has 3 modes of operation to suit lots of applications. In access point mode, it can provide up to 6 wireless networks per wireless band with a cabled uplink. The range extender mode allows the AP to extend coverage of any wireless network by connecting to and rebroadcasting that network to boost its range. Lastly, Mesh connects up to 8 access points as a fully wireless mesh group. The AP1060C can be used as a mesh node or as the wired mesh route. Vigo AP1060C has a unique third radio dedicated for monitoring all channels for airtime availability. The zero-weight DFS is constantly checking the optional 5G channels to make sure that they are not in use by military and other radar services. This helps to reduce any downtime for 5 GHz wireless users. The third radio antenna is also used for wireless intrusion detection system that keeps checking for any unknown APs broadcasting the same SSID. Once detected, the notification can be sent to the administrator. The Vigo AP1060C features Wi-Fi 6 technology, the latest generation of wireless, otherwise known as 802.11ax. It's backwards compatible with previous standards, so all the wireless devices can still connect. Some other great features include WPA3, which enhances wireless security, BSS coloring, improves interference handling, making it much easier to install access point with overlapping coverage, and is less affected by neighbors' wireless traffic. Wi-Fi 6 also uplifts performance for both 2.4 and 5 GHz wireless bands, giving better range performance and total capacity per access point. Now let's talk about the benefits and challenges for selected use case scenarios, such as fiber connection speeds, wireless office requirements, Wi-Fi solutions for outdoor environments. Finally, we will cover the high density cases where support of large number of wireless devices is needed. Fiber broadband is all about the speed and reliable connection. So instead of having 20 megabits per second, 40 or 80 megabits per second, we'll get 300 megabits or even faster internet access. Openreach plans to connect millions of premises across the country, each having an option of broadband speeds close to 1 gigabit per second. Is your wireless equipment ready to support this? You don't want the Wi-Fi to be your bottleneck. First of all, we need to install the AP on our network. With DRATEC wireless mesh, deployment of multiple access points has never been easier. Note that wireless access points need to support multiple devices at the same time. There is no dedicated Ethernet interface that portable devices can use unless we can connect them over the wire. Hence, it is important to use the latest 802.11 protocols, such as AC and AX, that are MIMO compatible. Here is the list of what to check to make sure we get the maximum performance of the local area network connected to fiber broadband. Our firewall must support the throughput or exceed the speed of the internet connection. If switches are used, we need to make sure that at least gigabit Ethernet is available with PoE on board for easy installation. As mentioned earlier, Wi-Fi 6 can support higher rates with theoretical speed from 600 to up to 10,000 megabits per second. In real-world environment, this is obviously much lower due to overheads, obstacles, and interference. During our lab test conducted in April this year, here in the UK, our particular products have managed to reach some great results. The 802.11 AC devices could reach over 400 megabits per second throughput within a line of sight distance. If we have moved further away, this is just over 300 megabits per second for a single client. The results for the latest standards were much better, with almost 800 megabits per second when standing next to the AX device, and over 400 megabits per second when connected from a distance or through a wall. We can clearly see that BSS coloring technology improves wireless performance. Hence, I would recommend to use the AX protocol where possible. Our latest mobile phones already support this standard. Now let's talk about the office environment where COVID restriction may still be in place. With social distancing, every corner of the office should have a good Wi-Fi coverage. Our workforce became more mobile and demand for wireless has increased. Each hot desk and floor should provide a seamless connection. Facilitating more spaced out layouts when updating or designing a new wireless office network seems to be a priority during the pandemic. Here is the list of technology that we need to for modern offices. For security, management and network segmentation, multi-SSID configuration is one of the key features. Wireless mesh should support VLAN tagged traffic to connect remote access points. Great performance for high network dependent applications such as VoIP, and for video meetings requires deployment of access points providing high throughput. Each access point should support Power over Ethernet for fast deployment and easy expansion of the network. Wireless security is also very important. Use WPA3 or at least WPA2/WPA3 mix mode whenever possible. Each of the wireless access points listed here support JTAG mesh feature, which is a great solution for multi-floor deployment. It also allows to use multiple SSIDs. Moreover, network segmentation and VLAN tags can also be used with wireless mesh nodes. The Vigo 1060C comes with a dedicated third antenna that can be used with wireless intrusion detection system. It helps with monitoring the network for security threats such as malicious APs broadcasting the same SSID. Both the 1060C and 960C support the latest 802.11ax protocol for best performance. The Vigo AP1000C is an ideal product for mesh networks, thanks to its dedicated second 5G radio. When hardwired, it can be used in high-density areas. Recently, many outdoor locations have started investing in reliable wireless solutions. Restaurants, beer gardens, etc. need to handle wireless connection for their POS devices. Customers and staff who is taking orders within these congested outdoor areas. During pandemic, working from home caused people to convert their sheds, garages, and summer houses into outdoor home offices. If they can't connect them with a cable, they will seek for a point-to-point wireless solution. The picture on the bottom right-hand side depicts a spacious caravan site. For such locations, installing access points to cover the outdoor space can be a challenge, actually. Also, it is important that only customers have access to the wireless network. So the key challenges for outdoor restaurant networks are coverage, securing the network from authorized access, and optionally collecting customers' contact details, such as emails and phone numbers for marketing purposes. Security, including CCTV monitoring system, may also be a key feature when installing a new outdoor network. Here, we can see the diagram illustrating the use of PoE in and PoE out interfaces available on Vigo AP918 RPD access points. It can be used to connect and power up a CCTV camera for monitoring purposes. Power and data is sent through a single cable to the access point, which then can power up an additional device directly connected to its second Ethernet interface. If your home office is located away from the main house because a garage or summer house was converted, a wireless point-to-point solution is needed. And if this is installed in large garden, it would be great to have Wi-Fi access at the same time. The drawing here illustrates two Vigo AP918 RPD access points connected over the wireless bridge. The patch antennas provide greater power, increasing communication distance and performance. For example, within the distance of about 1 kilometer, in some environments, the connection speed reach around 90 megabits per second. With the APs moved further, about 3 kilometers, the link was still reliable with speeds around 10 megabits per second. It is worth mentioning that while point-to-point configuration is applied, AP918 RPD can simultaneously provide wireless access to local clients over its 2.4 wireless antenna. So again, here are the JTEC recommended wireless outdoor access points, the Vigo AP918R and RPD models, and they have a weatherproof shell which is fully IP67 compliant. Both support mesh and are powered over the PoE. The RPD version has an additional unidirectional antenna for wireless bridge scenarios. The RPD model can also power up an additional devices such as a CCTV camera mentioned earlier through the additional Ethernet PoE output. Now let's have a look at the high density environment. Most of schools in the UK are now open, and we are hopefully allowed to go on holiday this summer. Holidays in the UK rather than abroad. So what are the challenges in such environments? Study shows that over 30% of people own at least 5 devices that are connected to the internet. If each of them carry at least one wireless device, such as a mobile phone, a smartwatch, or a tablet, and they gather together in one location, such as a hotel or school, it can be a challenge to any wireless network. Deployment of multiple access points and management may be needed to address a high demand of internet connection. People streaming TV or online classes may benefit from MIMO technology used with 802.11ac and AX devices. And BSS calling may further improve the performance. Devices such as POS for taking orders and payments need security mechanisms such as WPA3, whereas schools need to separate network so that teachers and students use different SSIDs and VLANs. With mobile devices carried around, features such as AP roaming, band steering, and wireless mesh can be beneficial. So for high density environments, our tri-band Vigo 1000C can support up to 384 users. It's almost 2 APs in one. For high bandwidth usage, AX models such as AP1060C are also recommended. BSS calling and MIMO features help with performance on busy wireless networks. With a large number of access points deployed in such environment, management can also be a challenge. Currently, all JTEC UK access points are compatible with Vigo ACS and other management platforms. So it's worth looking through the management options that JTEC offers. Know that JTAG access points don't need a license to be managed through the web interface, JTAG Router Central IP Management, or Vigo Connect platform. So let me talk about all the available management options that also include our cloud-based management platform, Vigo ACS. So JTAG Vigo APs can be configured via the web interface. Every option can be changed with a matter of a mouse click, and other protocols actually are also supported, such as Telnet and SSH. For management of a group of access points, JTAG Vigo routers can adapt from 2 to 50 nodes. Check your router's specification for details. The central management feature can show us the status of each access point, assist with applying a configuration profile, upgrade the firmware, or take a configuration backup. New to the Vigo AP 960C and 1060C is the ability to manage all Vigo APs on one site as a group. Any changes made on the root Vigo AP can be quickly provisioned to the rest of the group, ideal for a single site, and it supports up to 50 Vigo APs. For advanced monitoring of larger number of local devices, including JTAG access points and switches, I can recommend our Vigo Connect. The latest version can be installed on Windows or Linux machines. It is available free of charge with no annual licensing fees. Such a great tool for monitoring, provisioning, the configuration, and scheduling firmware update for out of working hours time. And finally, we have the Vigo ACS platform, which provides real-time management, monitoring, and configuration of multi-site JTAG nodes, including routers, switches, and wireless access points. Self-hosted and cloud-based versions are available. Checking the status and activity of any of your JTAG devices has never been easier. Alerts are also supported if a device has gone offline or any other alarm conditions selected. Any Vigo AP behind a JTAG router or without it can be managed across the internet by Vigo ACS. So now it's time for a quick Q&A session. If you haven't sent your question yet, please do it now. Alex, what are the most interesting questions?
Thank you very much, Łukasz. Yes, so if anyone does want to ask additional questions, you're welcome to send those through. We've got a colleague, Amy, who's going to be frantically replying to you directly, but also we picked some of the interesting ones to answer over this live Q&A now. So the first question, Łukasz, I think actually you possibly just covered, but I'll ask it anyway because it did come up, was which, with the new feature, the AP-based AP controller, where an AP control other APs, kind of similar to the router AP management, but in the APs, which of the JTAG access points can act as the controller?
So currently, Vigo AP 960C and the latest 1060C, they both have that facility available. I think there will be more, or some of the existing access may actually have that feature with firmware upgrade, but I will have to double check that. But I definitely know that the AX products come with that feature.
Yeah, it does depend a bit on the kind of hardware capabilities of the existing APs as well as to whether we can add it. But we always do try and add functions in where that's possible. But yeah, currently it's the two that Łukasz has listed. And the APs can all be controlled by them, providing they're on the latest firmware. So if you want to control any of the APs with the 1060C or 960C, you'll probably need to update the firmware on the AP that's going to be controlled as well. So thank you for answering that, Łukasz. Another question is about the 1060C. Again, it's to do with the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet interface. The question is, do any DRATEC routers or switches support that interface so you could connect the AP to one of those devices?
So we're actually working on some 2.5 products on top of the 1060C, and currently from the DRATEC routers can handle 1 gigabit Ethernet connections. I'm just thinking if we use SFP modules, will that work somehow, Alex?
Well, we've got the 2.5 gig interface on the 2962 and the 3910, so those can be used with the 960 currently. But as Łukasz, you said, there are plans to produce some switches which will have the 2.5 gig interface on it. You could potentially, there might be SFPs that have that, but I think the most likely thing will be some of our switches in the future that just have the RJ45 2.5 gig interfaces on them. So expect to see some of those kind of in the future, but we don't have any formal announcements on those right now, but they'll be coming kind of in due course. Another question here is about the mesh. The question is, can you mix and match a wireless mesh with wired devices? Mesh is where you're connecting the access points on a wireless connection, so they're not actually wired into the network. But the question is, can you also have wired devices in with the mesh?
So the answer to that is definitely yes. It's actually recommended option if you have some of the access points directly connected, so you don't lose that wireless interference impact on performance. And there is an option that needs to be selected, so when you configure that within the mesh menu. So just select the uplink there and the wired connection there, and then it should work fine. Yeah, and it won't be actually counted as a hop as well. So yeah, that's another advantage of using that.
Okay, thank you very much, Łukasz. And moving on to a different product, there's a question about the 918 RPD. Actually, there's a few on this. Actually, there's a different one I'll answer first, possibly, which is a question about the acronym. Someone's asked, what does RPD stand for? So I think I can answer that. So there's two products in the range that we just covered, the 918R and the 918 RPD. So the R stands for ruggedized. So both of those products are outdoor rated. The PD stands for being able to deliver power to another device, but also D is directional. So the RPD both has the directional antenna that allows you to do point-to-point, and also is able to deliver power to a secondary device. So that explains the acronyms. But the other question was about mounting kits. So with the RPD, do you need to buy a separate mounting kit to mount it? And is it just wall mountable, or can you also mount it on a pole?
So the products, they actually come with the kit. So you basically can install it in most cases kind of out of the box with the set of installation kit that comes with the access point. So a pole or a wall should be fine to install it.
Yeah, there's some, I think, 2 stainless steel kind of adjustable pipe clamps that come with it.
Yes, yes.
And also you've got the wall mounting kit, but also for the RPD, it has a separate directional mounting kit as well. So that helps you with positioning the angle, because it's important with the directional to get the beam going to where you want it to get to. So that is...
Yes, the RPD model comes with some additional kit there. Yes, for mounting.
Actually, that brings us on to a different question I've seen pop in, which is what sort of range can you throw the directional aerial? What sort of distance can you sort of cover?
Oh, the distance. So I actually briefly mentioned that. So it's good to use it for like a 1 kilometer distance, and I mentioned that from this it could reach around 90 megabits per second throughput. And if you want to put it further away, like 3 kilometers distance, that would be obviously slower, and about 10 megabits per second was achieved. Obviously, that depends on everyone's environment, so it may actually be slightly different.
Yeah, I kind of take those figures with a slight pinch of salt, in that that's with best conditions. You've got to have a situation where over the kilometer or 3 kilometers, you've got a really clear line of sight, because obstructions in the way can really impact that.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but I think most of the time, the people are asking that question from the point of view of, can it kind of go to 300 meters? And the answer to that is, yeah, that's a lot easier. But if you're doing over longer distances, you have to get the angles right and make sure there's a clear line of sight. So it's definitely capable of it, but it needs a really good installation. Often, I think you'd want to have some sort of kind of way of making sure you've got a real good point from one to the other, because it's got to be pointing in exactly the right direction for you to get the best signal quality over those sort of distances. But it's more of an installation thing rather than the product capability. They're definitely capable of doing that. So thank you, Ukesh. What's the next question? So another, while we're on the 918, the other question is about what sort of power can it output to a secondary device, sort of for a camera, for example, with the 918 RPD. Kind of how many watts can it give? And the answer to that is it can do up to 16 watts over up to 100 meters. So that's good for a kind of a standard PoE camera. So the high-powered PoE cameras, you'd need to be careful, because some of those can require up to 30 watts. So the 16 watts is the standard PoE rather than the high-powered PoE. But it's quite good for a standard camera. And if you want to use that, you have to use the separate PoE 600. So you can't get the power delivery just by powering it from a standard PoE switch. So you have to use the separate PoE 600 that Lucas showed.
Yeah, this is a PoE injector that was specially designed for this product. So
yeah, definitely. So another question here is about one of the new security features that Lucas talked about, WPA3. The question is, does it prevent older devices from connecting? Do you have to pick WPA or WPA2? And actually, this is an interesting idea. Can you run two different SSIDs with different security on the product? So could you have one SSID with WPA3 and one SSID with WPA2? So Lucas,
I think,
do you have an option
yes.
for that?
Okay, so that's yet another good question, guys. So I think the best option here is the feature Draytech have. So you can use WPA2/WPA3 mix mode. So all the devices can still connect that don't support WPA3, and WPA3 devices obviously will use that to connect. And if you want to have like more secure network or one of the SSIDs that have access to business network, then obviously you can set them with WPA3 only. That should do the job. Remember that Draytech access point supports 4 SSIDs per wireless band, so that's plenty to choose from. And you can obviously set it up with different security options.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And also, it's kind of 8, isn't it, on the
1060C?
Yeah.
That's a good point, Alex. Yes.
Cool. Great. So let's have a look at some of the other questions if I've missed anything. Right. I think I've covered a lot of the questions that we got before. I'm just looking at some of the new ones that have come in. There's an interesting question about the 912C versus the kind of 1060C when it comes to antenna power, and with the 1060C being a more expensive access point, does it have kind of more powerful antenna than the 912C, which is a it's a question that when we look at the performance of the 1060C compared to the 912C, we do see good performance increases, both on the 5 gig band, but also on the 2.4 gig band, because one of the things with an AC product like the 912C, it only actually gets the AC performance on the 5 gigahertz band, which doesn't penetrate as well. Whereas on the 1060C, it's getting the full AX on both 2.4 and 5 gig bands. So if you compare the two together, you'll get kind of generally a better performance comparatively with that, because of the improvements of the AX technology. There's a limitation with what we can do with the kind of increasing in power, because there's regulations on how much power output we can put into the antenna, so that's closely regulated, so we can't actually put more power into it. But what we do is we can tune the design and make sure that the pattern is kind of expanding out as best as possible. So we do think, and we found actually when we've done comparative results with the 912C compared to the 1060C, the 1060C does come out really well in our internal group test that we've done. So hopefully that answers that question. And let's have a look. There's a question about the PO injectors. Do they support 2.5 gigabit Ethernet?
PO injectors. Yeah, that shouldn't really matter. It's just the power. So
I think it doesn't actually, because the PO injector is for the 918 RPD.
Oh, sorry. The question was about PoE 600. You said.
Yeah, yes, PoE. Sorry, I didn't explain properly. Yeah. If a generic injector could potentially support gigabit Ethernet. Yeah, sorry. Good. So I think we've covered kind of most of the questions. I believe we've kind of been answering people directly as well. So I think that's a good time now, as it's getting up to 1:45, to wrap up the presentation. I just wanted to thank Łukasz for the informative presentation, and also thank everyone for attending and all of your questions you've put in. If you've got any feedback for us or any presentations you're interested in doing, then please do fill in the survey afterwards to give us some feedback on that, or contact us separately. You can contact info@dratec.co.uk directly with any feedback you've got. So hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation, and look out for any future ones. We've got more planned over the coming weeks and months, and we hope you'll also find time to attend those. Oh, and final thing is, we will have a recording of this uploaded that should be later this week. So if anyone's got colleagues who were unable to attend this presentation, if you just find that on the website, you'll see it in the video section. We'll upload it on there. So I think that's everything from me. So thank you very much, Łukasz, and thank you everyone for attending the presentation. Goodbye.
Thank you for your time. Have a good day.